Bo Nix. Wow, what an interesting draft prospect to talk about in the 2024 NFL Draft. So many opinions and takes have been made on Bo Nix as he holds the record for most starts ever by a quarterback in college football. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Bo Nix's draft stock, as I will also be making player comparisons for Bo Nix. Despite starting a lot of games in college football for a quarterback, there are still doubts surrounding Bo Nix when it comes to him having success at the NFL level. With Bo Nix already being 24 years old entering the 2024 NFL Draft, he is considered to be a draft prospect who has a limited ceiling in the NFL as a quarterback. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Where do you have Bo Nix ranked on your draft board for quarterbacks? Honestly, it depends on how you guys value Bo Nix. For me, I don't value Bo Nix as highly as everybody else does. I like Bo Nix a decent amount for college football. When Bo Nix played at Oregon, I was a fan of Bo Nix. I like watching his style of play. I like watching him throw the football and playing gunslinger type football. He is an entertaining quarterback to watch. However, there is a huge difference between an entertaining quarterback and a quarterback that can get the job done at the NFL level, and I don't see Bo Nix being this elite quarterback where he will be carrying teams to victories more often than not. Bo Nix is not going to change your life at the quarterback position. At the end of the day, Bo Nix is just a guy, aka Jack. I don't see Bo Nix being a guy that can be a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. He's not going to be one of those quarterbacks where he'll be leading his teams to 10 wins a year. Bo Nix is somebody that might have a long career playing the quarterback position, but he might not be a starting quarterback for one team throughout his NFL career. I could see Bo Nix having a veteran journeyman type of career. Obviously, Bo Nix is an experienced passer. He's played more college football than any other quarterback in the history of the game. I like Bo Nix throwing the football as well. He's accurate. He's a gunslinger. He's willing to take chances with the football in his hands. He is even willing to check down the football a little bit, maybe too much to a fault, because Bo Nix was nicknamed check down merchant at Oregon, but I think Bo Nix has a pretty good arm. He can throw the deep ball. He can play an air raid type of offense. I like how Bo Nix is a good leader of men. He's going to get guys rallying around him. I like how Bo Nix shows his emotions as well. He can get emotional, but it's not Caleb Williams type of emotional where he's going to run in the stands and cry in his mother's arms. When I look at Bo Nix, he is a guy that is going to rally the troops, and all the players are going to be bought into playing for Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a guy that can do a lot of things with the football in his hands. He's also an underrated runner as well. He's got a little Baker Mayfield in him in terms of the gamer mentality, and that Bo Nix is willing to take hard hits in order to help his team win football games. And I like how Bo Nix has the mentality of going all in on every single play. As far as what NFL scouts aren't telling you about Bo Nix, they're not telling you that this guy is a gamer and a baller and a shot caller. And I like what Bo Nix can do on the football field in terms of making big plays down the field, because even though he is nicknamed check down merchant, Bo Nix is one of the better quarterbacks when it comes to producing big plays down the field. And if you put Bo Nix in a no huddle type of offense where you can play spread football, he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. Now, do I think Bo Nix can be a consistent passer in the NFL? I still have doubts about that. I don't think Bo Nix is a guy that is fully seasoned as a passer, at least a guy that has played as much college football as him. As far as comparing him to the other quarterbacks in this draft class, I got Bo Nix being my fourth quarterback on my draft board. I don't think Bo Nix is this elite draft prospect where he's going to wow NFL teams with his arm strength, or he's going to wow NFL teams with his unreal anticipation, but I think Bo Nix does a little bit of everything. I think Bo Nix has elite intangibles. As far as the tangibles, I think Bo Nix has a lot of issues with this game, but if you want to talk about intangibles, Bo Nix is my guy. You want to talk about Drake Maye, you want to talk about Jayden Daniels, you want to talk about J.J. McCarthy, you want to talk about Caleb Williams, you want to talk about Michael Penix Jr., you can give me all those names, but as far as elite intangibles, Bo Nix is my number one guy when it comes to elite intangibles, because the guy knows what it takes to rally the troops around him, and he's a great leader of men. This guy is going to get people fired up and ready to go in terms of playing hard for him and being an overachiever. I think Bo Nix is a guy that can play up to his level that suggests that he has more talent than what he actually has. I don't think he has great arm strength, but I think he's willing to play like a guy that has great arm strength. I also think that Bo Nix is willing to throw dots down the field as well. I like how Bo Nix can run around a little bit. I like how Bo Nix is also a slinger of the football as well. Do I think he has the arm strength of a Drake Maye? Absolutely not. But do I think Bo Nix has a better arm than J.J. McCarthy? Definitely. The hype that is surrounding J.J. McCarthy, I'm kind of getting a little bit confused myself. I like J.J. McCarthy more than most last season when he was the quarterback at Michigan. But all this pre-draft hype that I'm seeing about J.J. McCarthy, I'm like, whoa, where did that hype come from? I mean, I thought J.J. McCarthy McCarthy was a fine starting quarterback, but some of these people are talking about how JJ McCarthy is going to be an elite passer, and I just don't see that in JJ McCarthy whatsoever. Do I think JJ McCarthy can be a really good game manager? Absolutely, but I don't think JJ McCarthy is a guy that's going to make wild throws all over the field. He doesn't have more arm talent than Bo Nix. When I watch Bo Nix play, I see a little Sam Howell in him. I'm not going to say that his player comparison is Sam Howell. I think they are two different players, but when I do watch Bo Nix play, I can see the similarities between him and Sam Howell. I could see a guy that can sling the football and that he can play fearlessly and that he's going to give it his all every single snap and that teammates are going to love playing for Bo Nix. Imagine Caleb Williams if he had the personality of Bo Nix. If Caleb Williams had that in him, then Caleb Williams would easily be the best quarterback in this year's draft class. Obviously, Bo Nix has a nice story to his name and that he's willing to do whatever it takes to help his team win football games. You can tell that Bo Nix clearly loves the game of football, because if he didn't love the game of football, then why did he play so much college football? This guy has played more college football more than any other quarterback in college football history. There's a reason why the guy was willing to stick around as long as he did, and it's because he lost the game of football. We all know that Bo Nix is all about football in his head all the time, and he's going to have a long career in the NFL, whether it's going to be as a backup or as a starter. I don't have a first round grade on Bo Nix. I do think that his decision making is rather questionable. I think his decision making is actually pretty poor. If I'm being honest, I could see him being a high turnover prone kind of quarterback at the NFL level. I think he's going to throw a lot of interceptions. I know that at Oregon he didn't throw a ton of picks, but I'm not going to take the numbers too seriously in the Pac-12, because we all know that Pac-12 numbers are inflated compared to other conferences, because nobody in the Pac-12 plays any defense whatsoever for the most part. So you cannot take the numbers too seriously when you watch Bo Nix play. You have to watch the tape, you have to watch the type of throws that Bo Nix is going to make, and you have to also watch the decision making that Bo Nix has in him. And clearly there's a lot of question marks regarding his decision making skills. You look at his tape at Auburn, there's a reason why he struggled at Auburn, and even though Auburn had a pretty good team during the Bo Nix era, there's a reason why Bo Nix couldn't get the job done for Auburn. That's because of the fact that he struggles against top tier defenses. Obviously Bo Nix is going to be a guy where he's going to have to play on a really good team where they will set up a system around him in order for him to be successful. He needs to play in a Shanahan type of system in order to be a really good quarterback in the National Football League, and I just don't see that happening because of the fact that it's so rare to play in a Kyle Shanahan type of offense. And even if he does get to play in a Kyle Shanahan type of offense, who's to say that he'll actually get playing time behind that system, because they could have another guy that's just as good as Bo Nix. And as far as player comparisons go, I got 3 player comparisons for Bo Nix. I think that worst case scenario, this guy's going to be Colt McCoy, where he's going to be a long-time NFL backup. He's going to be jumping from team to team, but he doesn't really have much skill set or anything like that, but he's going to have a solid career as a backup, and that whenever he is on the football field, players are going to play hard for Bo Nix and they're going to give it their all. So I could see him being Colt McCoy worst case scenario. As far as my ceiling goes, I'm going to give that comparison to Tony Romo for Bo Nix, because Bo Nix does have a nice game when it comes to scrambling around in the pocket. He knows how to manipulate the pocket really well, and he is a gunslinger that will take chances with the football in his hands. Maybe you put Bo Nix on a good football team, maybe you could get the most out of him and he can have a Tony Romo type of career where he's going to make multiple Pro Bowls and he's going to be a solid quarterback while throwing a ton of touchdowns as well as a ton of picks, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to quite get the job done. I don't think Bo Nix has elite player written in him. And of course, middle ground in terms of what do I think the most realistic player comparison will be, I'm going to say Bo Nix will end up being Ryan Fitzpatrick 2.0, because of the fact that Bo Nix is the quintessential backup. He's going to be a guy where if you put him in for a game or two, he's going to look really good, but if you start Bo Nix for an entire season, yeah, you're going to be one of the worst teams in the National Football League. But obviously, I think Bo Nix is going to have a long, productive career, whether it's going to be as a backup or as a veteran journeyman starter that's going to jump around from team to team. I don't think Bo Nix is going to ever be a franchise quarterback, but I do think Bo Nix will be a very good backup in the National Football League. I got a 2nd round grade on Bo Nix, although that 2nd round grade is closer to the 3rd round grade for me. I don't think Bo Nix is a great quarterback in the NFL, but I think Bo Nix can be a solid backup where he's going to be able to jump around from team to team while even having some pretty good moments in the NFL when his career is all said and done. So that is why Bo Nix is ranked 4th on my draft board for quarterbacks in the 2024 NFL draft, as I am sold on Bo Nix having a productive career, whether it would be as a starter or a backup in the NFL. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.